Well, I just have to start out by saying that this is amazing to see this room so jammed. Thank you guys so much for all coming out tonight. People keep saying, like, did you do something different? And first thing we did different is we came to this amazing place. I just want to thank Paul and the team here at National Mechanics for giving us this awesome venue and the chance to come and be in this amazing room with delicious drinks and beautiful, fine people. So thank you for that. Very appreciative of our judges, who I will save to let Chris introduce, but there's a lot of people that I could thank, but instead I'm going to attempt to tell a story, which I will see if I can keep from being the one that is too long or the one where you might wonder what the hell was he thinking, though that is a pretty typical reaction to me. I will also say that a new learning for me is that I don't know if everyone can see me, so hopefully the curls are emotive back there to the back of the room. I'll do my best. Excellent, thank you, good, you can see the curls. By the way, I just want to point out that this group of people, all being from this sort of do-gooder, nonprofit, B Corp space, if you do put your name in the hat and you feel like maybe you're that one that Chris mentioned, this is a loving, supportive room, and I would like all of us to keep it that way. There's no heckling here at Mission Story Slam. There's just love and support and community. And that's really the whole point of what we're trying to build here. This isn't just an event. It isn't just a story slam. This is a community. Themes are hard to pick. We decided on moving right along because we were moving into this new venue this time for our 9th edition, keeping lots of things like Chris Satullo consistent. But there's a lot of different ways you can interpret that. So I've been thinking about what story do I want to tell, racking through the brain. And I went back to one from when I was I think I had just turned 19. And this one's a bit transportation related. I'd say it's planes, trains, and automobiles, but it's pretty much just trains. So when I first was going to college, I couldn't afford to go to the university I wanted to yet. So I started in what we referred to as high school with ashtrays, also commonly known as junior college. This is in the suburbs of Chicago. And just getting my gen eds out of the way while I could, and while I could afford it. And I decided I wanted to learn German so I could maybe speak a little bit with my grandparents while I still had them. They were German immigrants. So I go to take this class, and the thing that fits best with my work schedule and everything was a night class. Well, it turns out there's a big Siemens office somewhere near this college. So it was me, one other young, like jockey-looking dude, and like 12 very adults. They're probably younger than me at this point, but to me, they were very old at the time. And so tiny little 125-pound me starts going to German class and hanging out with all these grown-ups trying to speak German. I realized I needed someone to study with. I'm like, all right, I'll try the guy that's my age. So I start talking to this dude. We end up studying together. I was really afraid he was going to be a complete douchebag. Actually turned out to be very, very nice, but had a lot of good stories. For instance, the reason that he was attending this particular junior college is a little cocky. He had come to visit his dad. He's from Providence, Rhode Island. He comes out to visit his dad in Chicago, goes to the bar with his fake ID. The bouncer clocks it as a fake ID and says, this is a fake ID. He says, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Well, he's so cocky, he argues with him until the cops actually show up, and he's stuck in town on probation. So that's why Tom ended up going to my junior college, because he had to do 3 months of probation. So here we are, studying our German together. Probation ends. He's back to Providence. I'd heard all these crazy stories about I guess Providence in the 80s into the 90s was like kind of whatever your neighborhood was your gang. So he always had stories about getting in fights and getting jumped or jumping, things that were luckily very foreign to me. But for whatever dumb reason, it sounded exciting. So I decided to go visit him in Providence from Chicago, but I had no money. So somehow I figured out I could take the train. So I take a 20-plus hour train ride to Providence, get on the train. I was a smoker at the time, very good at it. I was looking for a place to smoke. I ended up like in the dining car for the whole ride. But in hanging out, I ended up meeting this guy and chatting with him. And at one point he's like, do you play poker at all? And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. It's like, so I kind of count cards, like is the thing that I do. So let's see if there's a couple other people that hang out in the dining car. I'll deal you a bunch of winning hands. Because, I'm a con man. at the end of the night, we'll split the money. And I'm like, do I need to front this money? Because I'm thinking, you've just told me you're a con man, and I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. And he said, no, we're fine. I'll get us started. I don't know how the hell this guy does it, but we meet this young couple, like total deadhead kids coming from the West Coast, heading back to the East Coast. And we end up hanging out all night. He's dealing cards. And it's not like I won every single hand, but I won a lot of them. And there's like, probably like 50 or $100 sitting in front of me. And it's now, sorry about that. So it's now like 6 in the morning. I don't know. The sun's coming up. And the couple's like, you know what? We got to go like to our seats, take a nap. And I go to con man dude. I don't remember his name. I'm like, can we give them their money back? Because it's like, this is a pile of money. And they're just like these broke deadhead kids trying to go home. And he was like, you really want to? And I'm like, yeah, I really do. And he's like, all right, fine. They come back. We play more cards. The money moves back across the table. We get to New York. I change a bunch of trains. End up jammed in some commuter train from Boston to Providence. I haven't slept in a full day. Get to Providence. My friend Tom is like, look, I got to be at work when you get there. I'm sending a car. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'll take a cab. I'm sending a car. Take a cab. Send a car. So there's some dude with a very long sign. If you know my last name, Schweisheimer, he's got this very long sign waiting for me. Takes me out front, and there's a limousine. It's not just a car. It's a damn limousine. I'm like, okay. So he opens the door, and there's Tom handing me a beer. And I was like, whoa, you're here. This is amazing. Get into the back of the limo, and there's this giant human being in the seat next to me, and he goes, hey, I'm Paul Perotti. Am I fat? The reality was that, yes, he is fat. So now I had no sleep, con man smoking, drinking. Michael has to figure out what to say. So I'm like, do you want the truth? He says, yeah. I'm like, a little. And he was like, hey, all right, you're okay. We're fine. So he didn't kill me, and we partied for the whole week. And that was how I got the trip right, by the way. Going home, nothing happened. I don't even remember. It was somehow 20 hours lapsed, but that first trip was the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's how I got to Providence. So.